Welcome to Saturation News. Right now, the Supreme Court has came out and has made a new statement. Regarding the Supreme Court case, we are covering that all right here on Saturation News. Roe v. Wade has been overturned. If you have not heard, the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade this morning, and we are expecting a lot of backlash, of course, due to this decision being very controversial in the political landscape. So, we're going to be covering it for about 2 hours, probably here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, and all platforms, as long as we feasibly can, and have stuff to discuss. Right now, Biden is speaking, and I feel like it'd be a really good idea to allow Biden to speak. So we're actually just going to play the clip right now that the White House is doing. If we have that clip, currently Biden is out speaking. Um, he's speaking and saying that Congress needs to act. We're going to turn it over to the Biden administration, and warning it could be very it could be it could be very different. So we're actually going to be forwarding all stuff over to that right now. Right over to that Chrome tag on Biden delivering his remarks.
Americans. The American Medical Association, the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists wrote to me and Vice President Harris stressing that these laws are not based on evidence and asking us to act to protect access to care. They say by limiting access to these medicines, maternal mortality will climb in America. That's what they say. Today, I'm directing the Department of Health and Human Services to take steps to ensure these critical medications are available to the fullest extent possible. And the politicians cannot interfere in the decisions that should be made between a woman and her doctor. And my administration will remain vigilant as the implications of this decision play out. I've warned about how this decision risks the broader right to privacy for everyone. That's because Roe recognized the fundamental right to privacy that has served as a basis for so many more rights that we've come to take for granted, that are ingrained in the fabric of this country. The right to make the best decisions for your health. The right to use birth control, a married couple in the privacy of their bedroom, for God's sake. The right to marry the person you love. Justice Thomas said as much today. He explicitly called to reconsider the right of marriage equality, the right of couples to make their choices on contraception. This extreme and dangerous path the court is now taking us on. Let me close with 2 points. First, I call on everyone, no matter how deeply they care about this decision, to keep all protests peaceful. Peaceful, peaceful, peaceful. No intimidation. Violence is never acceptable. Threats and intimidation are not speech. We must stand against violence in any form, regardless of your rationale. Second, I know so many of us are frustrated and disillusioned that the court has taken something away that's so fundamental. I know so many women are now going to face incredibly difficult situations. I hear you. I support you. I stand with you. The consequences and the consensus of the American people, core principles of equality, liberty, dignity, and the stability of the rule of law demand that Roe should not have been overturned. With this decision, the conservative majority of the Supreme Court shows how extreme it is, how far removed they are from the majority of this country. They've made the United States an outlier among developed nations in the world. But this decision must not be the final word. My administration will use all of its appropriate lawful powers, but Congress must act. And with your vote, you can act. You can have the final word. This is not over. Thank you very much. More to say this in weeks to come. Thank you.
Mr. President, do you still have confidence? Do you still have confidence?
Well, obviously, Biden just came out and made several statements in that release. As you heard, he did call for the protests that are definitely going to be done today to be peaceful. He made several statements during that entire time while he was doing that press statement from the White House, and a lot of things ended up coming out. A lot of people saying to keep stuff peaceful. That is a good thing to be saying, as we do know that when the George Floyd riots or the 2020 riots did cause a lot of damage to property, and that was due to political um, related arguments. And we obviously do not want anything like that to happen again regarding the abortion. Um, Supreme Court ruling changes. But this is a very big deal because we weren't really expecting this to happen. I guess this week because of how long it was taking the court. But some people did think that it would end up happening, and we did not see it coming whatsoever. So we just saw right there. You just saw Biden was calling on Congress to restore the protections of Roe v. Wade as a federal law. But I don't think Congress is actually going to do anything. I Speaker Nancy Pelosi has released some interesting statements today that she has as the Speaker of the House. What Nancy came out today um, and said is, wow, she, she hasn't posted anything really. Okay, she did. She has some statements. With a statement right here, we're going to bring it up on your screen so that you can see the statement from Nancy Pelosi on overturning Roe v. Wade. We're going to bring that up for you right now. Nancy's statement says Pelosi's statement on Supreme Court 4th 20 plus after Republican Supreme Court majority voted overturn Roe v. Wade. Today, the Republican-controlled Supreme Court has achieved the GOP's darkened global an extreme goal of the way women's rights to make their own reproductive health decisions. Because of Donald Trump, Mitch McConnell, the Republican Party, others a majority on the Supreme Court, and men and women today have less freedom than others. With Roe now out of the way, radical Republicans are changing ahead with a crusade to criminalize health freedom in the Congress. Republicans are planning a nationwide abortion ban in the states. Republicans want to arrest doctors that offer reproductive care in women for terminating a pregnancy. GOP extremists are even threatening to criminalize contraception as well as in vitro fertilization and post miscarriage care. A woman's fundamental health decisions are her own to make, and the Constitution with her doctor and their loved ones, not to be directed by far-right politicians. While Republicans seek to punish and control women, Democrats keep fighting fiercely to ensure Roe v. Wade in the law. Basically, this is just Nancy Pelosi making a political statement. This does not mean anything whatsoever regarding in anything. She really just does not have any statement um whatsoever. Um, that's what I'm just gonna say. The issue that we have with this, I'll make it not that. I'll make the screen a little bit bigger so you can actually see it. The issue we have here is we have a lot of politicians coming out right now and just blaming it on Republicans. This is really not a Republican issue. This is more of a down the road issue. They've had 50 years to certify Roe v. Wade as a federal law, and they have not done it. This is a melting pot waiting to explode. This has been something that we know was going to be happening just from the last couple of years. We know that stuff like this would be occurring. In that same system that she ended up talking about, she also put this on Twitter. Nancy Pelosi did, and that's an interesting statement to read. But right now, there is so much coming out. We have so many things that is, you know, out with this Roe v. Wade. We're going to be taking everybody through Twitter in just a couple minutes, just everybody what the you know what everything is going on. We're actually going to be showcasing some stuff. We will probably go to a commercial break in a couple minutes, just shortly, just a short, not commercial break, but a short break. But yeah, Nancy's releasing a lot of stuff. Let's see, we have so many things coming out this morning regarding it right now. But I guess we should go check in and see what the Democrats are saying on Twitter. What Republicans are, of course, saying. Okay, so we're gonna switch the feed over so you guys can see what's happening. Okay, so if you take a look right now, you can see Democrats have been tweeting a lot right now on the Twitter page. We have them, just the most recent tweet made 27 minutes ago says, new, Chance Thomas has issued a concerning opinion in Douglas Jackson calling for the Supreme Court to consider overturning the right to contraception and marriage equality. The right to privacy is on the ballot. The Democrats is also, anyway, 56 minutes say the Supreme Court's assault on reproductive rights has made the stakes of the midterm elections even higher. We want to make this very clear. The Democratic Party will fight to ensure this fundamental freedom remains intact. Then we have the Supreme Court's decision overturn Roe v. Wade as an attack on our rights and freedom. Make no mistake, reproductive rights will be on the ballot this midterm election. Pretty much all that this is just them politicalizing, as you would expect due to the midterm election. Let's check out the Senate Democrats, what they are saying. Chuck Schumer has a release right here that you can see. Chuck's coming out, and he's saying today is one of the darkest days in our country has ever seen. American women are having the rights taken by 5 unelected justices on the extremist mega court. These justices, appointed by Republicans and proceeding without accountability, have stolen the fundamental right to abortion. And as you can see right there, that's what Chuck Schumer is saying. It's truly amazing what is coming out. David Hogg here, the one of the founders of a major organization, March for Our Lives. He says on Twitter, Trump packed the court. It's to pack it. Which really, you can't unpack the Supreme Court. You cannot unpack the Supreme Court. There is no good way of packing the court. Does not set a good president. And again, you can pass laws to Congress instead of passing laws to the Supreme Court. And if it's unconstitutional, it's just going to get struck down. And that's the issue with a lot of these laws. Alarmed is now trending in the United States. Joe Manchin says he trusted Neil Gorsuch and Brett Kavanaugh and is now disappointed. Well, we have a lot of stuff to talk about today, a lot of stuff to discuss. But as of right now, we are going to be heading to our commercial break. So we'll be back shortly. Welcome, buddies, to Saturation News. Thank you for coming back after our, a little bit of about a 10-minute break. We appreciate it. We just had to go through and make sure that we had everything. We just always want to make sure our coverage is as accurate as feasibly possible. So Biden is telling the protests to be peaceful, and we are now seeing some protesting coming out. So we're just going to gently go through here and just take a look here at what this is. If you can't hear that, they're yelling "My choice" at the Supreme Court office. So these people are now outside the Supreme Court office saying abort the court, decline of America. We also got some other signs, and they got a steel fence up, as you can see, similar to what they did on January 6th. We got abort the court. Let's go through here. We got AIDS United. We have a lot of these other organizations here, and this is footage that is coming in right now regarding the the ruling, and we're expecting to see more of this as the day progresses. We're expecting to see a lot more protesting nationwide. Hopefully, it does remain peaceful, but we are now seeing protesters at the Supreme Court, and as you can see, everything so far is peaceful. The protesters are at um, at the Supreme Court, and they have signs, and everything is everything's peaceful. But I'm really curious to see how this goes when night hits, and as the day progresses around the country at different areas. I guess that's the thing that I'm most wondering is how does it look throughout the country when it gets dark? How does it look when that happens? That is something that truly has me just a little bit a little bit concerned because people do change when night hits. That is that video sings from PM breaking news, um, and they are gonna probably have a lot more um, things coming out this morning possibly related to it. But we are watching the Supreme Court stuff. You just saw is footage. Um, we're trying to find more data, more stuff outside. There isn't that much news coming in regarding the Supreme Court at the moment, believe it or not. Like the actual location, there is nothing coming out from, these small news outlets. Except we do actually have more, Actually, we're actually gonna switch your footage real quick. There is now United States Capitol Police arming. We'll go switch it over to that. We're seeing some evidence of this as well over on Twitter. Capitol Police, they are they are arming themselves. They are getting riot shields, so we can tell that this is expected to get worse as the day progresses. As you can see right here, a little bit of a snapshot with the riot shields. You can see the press is just getting on this, and on your right, you can see that the Capitol were there. So it looks like Capitol Police being sent down to the lovely Supreme Court complex. That's what it looks like from here, I would be saying. Which is good to see that we do have some law enforcement presence going down with the amount of protesters. Let's just pray for these guys because the next 24 hours, who knows what's going to happen. And people are crazy, crazy. Let's hope they don't go nuts. But we'll play the footage so that you can see that as well. I mean, as you can see, it's really not that much that is going through. It's just a small amount. But that's the next thing that we're seeing coming in regarding they are anticipating very bad protests. Um, very, 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 very well. But Biden has now released a statement. As you can see, he has said, "Today is a very solemn moment for the United States. The Supreme Court expressly took away a constitutional right from the American people already recognized. They simply took it away. That's never been done to a right that's so important to so many Americans." That's Biden's statement from the POTUS Twitter account. Um, he also delivered his remarks in 15 minutes. You saw that a while ago. Um, let's go back to talk about gun violence. Okay, so let's take a look at what the different what the Republicans are talking about. Before we went to our break, we checked out the Democrats page. We have not checked out the Republicans page, so we're actually going to be looking at some Republican pages. I believe it's the GOP. They don't have a Republican hashtag for some reason. Okay, so the GOP has put out several statements. We have a statement from SBA Pro Life America. We'll actually play that video next so that you guys can see what they are saying from at least a pro life perspective. We're going to try to get as many videos from both sides playing as possible. Right now, on the Republican side, we'll go back to the Democrat side in just a moment, play some stuff from them, see what Planned Parenthood's saying, but we want to make sure you see both sides of the political spectrum. So if you don't want to see both sides, just check back later in a couple minutes. But we really would encourage you to sit back and watch everything. This is a statement. Looks like from Juana McDaniel. She looks like she's the GOP's retweeted her post that she made on the day that everything went through, the day that the March for Life happened. So we're just going to go through and we're going to play the video.
Life is precious, and it's always worth defending. Democrats are pushing an extreme pro-abortion agenda, and Republicans are fighting to stop them. The majority of Americans support protections for unborn children and oppose a Democrat agenda of taxpayer funding of abortion. Yet Democrats reject science, supporting abortion up to the moment of birth without limits.
One thing about March for Life, these are people that come to the march, but they don't just do March for Life every year. They live this every day. They are making a big difference.
Every day they wake up and they're thinking about it and they're passionate about it. It's not just like about a show of force for one day.
The Republican Party continues to stand with the pro-life movement and will always advocate for the sanctity of life, vulnerable mothers, and speak up for the unborn. Life is precious, and it's always worth defending. Democrats
Okay, so you guys just saw that statement from Juana McDaniel. That was her video that she posted a while ago. We actually have an RNC statement out right now on the Victory of Life. We're going to bring that up on your screen right now so that you can actually see it. The RNC is saying following today the Republican National Committee RNC Chairman Juana McDaniel released the following statement on the historic U.S. Supreme Court victory for life. Life where millions of Americans are celebrating today's ruling in a pro-life movement that has worked tirelessly for decades, for half a century, unelected judges, and dictated Americans' abortion laws. The historic ruling rightfully returns power to the American people to enact laws that protect unborn children and support mothers everywhere. As the debate now returns to the states and the American people, we know there is still much work ahead. Republicans will continue to advocate for life, uphold the law, and stand against the extreme Democrat Party's pro-abortion agenda. That is the statement from the Republican National Committee regarding this victory on life. And as in the comments, we have some very interesting statements in the comment section that we're just going to quickly go through because I feel like we have to go through these comments real quick. And we'll go up and we're going to play that one video by that one group, because we want to make sure that we have all sides here so that you can see different sides of what different sides are thinking. I know a lot of these news outlets are not going to be playing both sides of the story, which is honestly terrible. That's not good reporting. So here we go. We're just going to log straight in to these comments. Better see every Republican adopting now until there were 0 kids in foster care. That is silly and misleading take. The result is that becomes legislated at the state level is a protected right in many states. Medical backwards sadism under the cloak of Christian. What is sadism? Excuse me. Sadism is the tendency to desire pleasure, especially blink gratification from intentionally plain suffering or humanity. Did not know that word exists. And Trump came through. Hopefully, the pregnant men can now live with the truth that abortion isn't a constitutional right. Pass it on. Okay, so we have a very mixed comment section, as you can probably see. Lots of stuff that has came out. Well, looks like we're going to go to the next video, see what that looks like, and then we're going to continue going down. Looks like there isn't anything. They also posted this giant thing that says life wins. So that is that's good. And we have noticed that one of our streams is having connection issues. So we apologize if you are having connection issues. We're actually now going to go in and we're going to be checking up on that statement from SBA Pro-Life America.
Court of the United States in a moment of great gratitude and resolve. This court has just overturned the wrongly decided Roe versus Wade decision. Let those words sink in. Roe versus Wade is overturned. After 50 years of lobbying, building centers of hope to serve pregnant women, on our knees praying, off our knees marching, and ensuring the powerful pro-life voice could be heard in our elections, we have arrived at this day, a culminating day of so much and the first day of a bright pro-life future for our nation. We were faced with doing something very simple, but very difficult. To use the tools of democracy gifted by our founders to right an egregious wrong at the very heart of our law and our culture. The good people of our nation spoke with a powerful voice in elections, electing presidents and senators to nominate and confirm judges with fealty to the Constitution and belief in balance of powers. And now we begin. We begin the beautiful work that is the fruit of God's grace and our labors. Every legislature in the land, in every single state, and the Congress is now free to allow the will of the people to make its way into the law through our elected officials. It is our job to be as ambitious for life in every single one of those legislative bodies, and our governor's mansions, and the White House. This is a movement of justice and of mercy. We will seek justice and mercy in the law for our children, and justice and mercy for women, walking and planning with her in order to serve and love both mother and child. So here we are, poised to save millions of lives, so many intended for this world, with purpose and gifts we desperately need to continue to allow the light of truth and justice to heal and guide our nation. It's an entirely new pro-life movement, and it begins today. With great gratitude for all who began this work 50 years ago, I thank you on behalf of the nation and all of its children. Everyone who was in the ring, stay, build new muscle for the beautiful work ahead in this fresh beginning. And for new leaders needed and intended for this moment, I invite you in now. We need everyone off the sidelines, working in unison, and our best days are ahead.
That was Susan B's Anthony's Pro-Life America statement that they posted on Twitter. If you're curious, that was SBA Pro-Life America. That was their statement that they posted. We also got a statement, looks like, from the Republican governor of West Virginia. We're going to play that
all the
real quick.
states. As you know, the Supreme Court just issued their decision overturning Roe v. Wade and returning and leaving the regulations on abortion to all the states. And I'm going to read to you the statement that I put out. I feel very strongly about this statement. You know, I applaud the Supreme Court's courageous decision today. I've said many times that I very proudly stand for life, and I am rock solid against abortion. I believe that every human life is a miracle worth saving and protecting. I will not hesitate to call a special session after consulting with the legislature and my legal team if clarifications of our laws need to be made. And the other thing that I am absolutely, proud that we can do and we should be looking at in every way we can possibly help our crisis pregnancy centers and help those folks there.
Okay. Okay, so you just saw right there that governor of West Virginia is going to be funding the pregnancy centers. Biden says we must stand against any violence of any form, and really that tweet says a lot there from Susan B. Anthony of America that he's missing the point of the press conference. It's to talk about the overturn of Roe v. Wade, not violence. Yes. So let's just go. Let's head. We've done a lot of looking here on this Republican side. Let's go take a look at the Democratic side again. Let's head back over the Democrats. I think that is only fair. Do we have any? Not Democrats, but Planned Parenthood. I'm very shocked. I have not seen any statement from Planned Parenthood Action, which is the political PAC, or Planned Parenthood. So the Supreme Court So Planned Parenthood released this on Twitter saying, breaking, the Supreme Court has taken away our right to abortion and overturn Roe v. Wade, opening the floodgates for states across the country to ban abortion. The court has failed us all, but this is far from over. And then they, comment on their own post and put, we know what politicians want because it's already happening, to ban abortion state by state and eventually a national ban. But like generations before us, we'll fight for each other. If you or someone you know needs an abortion, reach out. They give you a number and then a website. And that's all that they really published through their Action Fund, along with this graphic here that says the fight isn't over. Join a rally in your area to demand control over our bodies, our lives, and our futures. Test access to 22422 or bandsoff.org. Your commitment powers this fight. Only together can we make our voices heard and show how hungry and committed we are to reclaiming our rights. Show us today and use your voice. One thing I want to point out, just because we're in the subject right now, Planned Parenthood, is they're one of the only companies that has a political pact. Yeah, I wanted to point out that Planned Parenthood Action is a registered political PAC, and the political PAC is a organization that can get money for politics, and it doesn't really have a cap of how much it can get, and it can send it to other organizations. And I just always have found it very strange that they have one, personally. But this new channel is not about my opinion, so we're not going to go down that road. But I wanted to point out that this is a political PAC that we're staring at. So let's visit bandsoff.org and let's see what we have here. Let's actually stop sharing and let's send the not the West. I need updates. I am not the West Virginia Governor Office. Let's switch the feed real quick. Fantastic. So bandsoffourbodies.com. It just takes you to this website that's part of PlannedParenthoodAction.org. It's a subdomain. And it says, alert, Roe v. Wade overturned. The Supreme Court just took away our right to abortion, opening the floodgates for states across the country to ban abortion. It's time to make some noise. Join a rally today to demand control over our bodies, our lives. Okay. So basically, they're trying to get political rallies done to bring back their ability to do abortions at most of their clinics to therefore produce more money. That's why I brought up that this was a political PAC. It's a political PAC that's tied to an organization to make money. Now, I'm not saying that, I'm just pointing that out, some clarification on Planned Parenthood and some of the stuff they do. This is a political PAC and they do make money off of it. They use it to continue making money. It is truly amazing, truly amazing. And they have this whole area, this whole website. So we're actually gonna go through this. So I believe Alexa McGill Johnson is the CEO of Planned Parenthood. I'm gonna check that real quick. Yeah, she's the president of Planned Parenthood Action Fund, or PPAC, and also the CEO of Planned Parenthood. Yeah, she's the CEO of Planned Parenthood and the president of the political PAC that they have. Their partners are ACLU, Liberate Abortion, okay, NARAL, Pro-Choice America, Women's March, Ultraviolet, and Move On, and SEIU, Stronger Together. They're telling you to share your story, support abortion funds, help people pay for it, get involved locally, check if it's a protest tip. Excuse me. What is Planned Parenthood? What is their protest tips? Let's go through and let's just bring these up. And also how sort schools can meet your health needs. Can also sign a petition. How businesses can help. Corporate teams. Oh my goodness, this is a lot of data Planned Parenthood did. They must have been anticipating this because this is so much. We actually have a ruling from the Supreme Court, not Supreme Court, a statement from Planned Parenthood. So we're actually going to be switching this over. And we're actually going to be playing this video so everyone can see this. So here you go.
The United States Supreme Court just told us we are not free. By overturning Roe v. Wade, they have stolen our constitutional right, our right to self-determination, our right to control our own bodies, our right to freedom, our right to abortion. However they justify it, this is about power and control. Power and control that was once ours will now belong to state politicians. Look, abortion is still legal in many states, and Planned Parenthood will do whatever we can to get you the care you need. And we will not stop fighting. Our movement will fight for rights stronger than Roe. We will secure abortion access for all, free from bans and restrictions, free from shame and stigma. No court or state will make us compromise our bodies, our dignity, or our freedom. Here's what you can do. Donate to an abortion fund, support a local Planned Parenthood affiliate, help independent clinics at keepourclinics.org. To learn more, go to bandsoff.org. At Planned Parenthood, we know that you should control your personal medical decisions, not politicians. We know banning abortion doesn't stop abortion. It just makes it harder to access. To be clear, this won't stop us. They're going to sue thy neighbor, and we are going to love our neighbor. They're going to impose bans. We are going to get care to people and people to care. They're going to force people into pregnancy, and we are going to give people the information and resources to get the care they need. We will have hope. Hope comes from doing for each other. We are each other's hope.
Well, as you can see right there, Planned Parenthood did come out and they did release that video, just saying what they thought about the whole mechanic and everything. It was a very it was a statement from their CEO and their president of the Action Fund, which we've explained is a very interesting thing. It really just goes down to we really need to as a nation look into political PACs and just see what they are, because there's some interesting ones out there. But I would encourage anybody, again, if you're curious, just look up Planned Parenthood Action and look into it. It's just very interesting how it's used. It's a very interesting business strategy. But we're going to go in and we're just going to take a look here at some more stuff about Planned Parenthood, some of the advice that they're sending out. We're going to take a look at that right now. We're going to send the screen over to another tab real quick. Okay, so this is the statement that they have on their Bands Off Our Bodies website for "It's Our Fight, Let's Do It Right." So, signs and slogans that inspire our movement. They have slogans such as "Band Off Our Bodies," "Our bodies, our futures, our abortions," "Abortion is healthcare," "Abortion is essential," "Abortion is a right to protect," "Abortion access to the right abortion." Suggestions for chants: "Abortion, we won't give up. Abortion, we want it. We are unstoppable until off our bodies." Language and symbols to avoid. There are several slogans and symbols that they are getting divisive and counterproductive to the movement. Hangers. Coat hangers. Images representing death from self-abortions before the 1974 Roe v. decision. Okay. But the anti-abortion movement twisted this symbol to advocate all abortion with death. Let's avoid stigmatizing okay, yada. Pro-life choice messages. Black, Latino, Indigenous, and other people of color have been shut out of our healthcare system due to this country's legal legitimacy of racism and discrimination. As women of color and reproductive justice been made clear, choice wording is an affront to these communities because just they have the same access to others. You want to not use pro. Okay. Handmaids, Tale references. We who don't have access to abortion, other healthcare, bonnets and red capes can feel insensitive, better option, wear something that expresses your individuality. Anti-abortion language images. Steer clear of the oppressions, inaccuracies, misinformation, and harmful imagery. Otherwise, you will be only advocating for their propaganda. Here is examples of good messaging. Why is this 3 different things? Okay. Let's take a look at these examples. Okay, that's from liberatabortion.org. Another one from Liberate Abortion. That's what the last one is. They also have a liberation guide for advocates. Okay, those were some interesting graphics. Don't use anti-abortion language. Late-term abortion, handmaid's hemorrhage, coat hanger abortion, chemical and medical abortion, illegal abortion, partial. Okay. I see what they're doing here. I see what these data things that they're sending out are doing. Basically, some of the actual factual things that are mentioned inside of the pro-life stuff, they are telling people not to use, which would make sense, because you're trying to get the thing reinstated. But there are some actual things that with abortion, some babies have been born alive, or fetuses, whatever the hell you want to call it. I guess whatever side you're on, we're just going to call it a baby for the sake of making it easier to understand. So that is white there. That is what another thing that came out from it. We also got the protest tips, which is very interesting. We're gonna go switch the feed over to that real quick. Just give me one Hello? Hello? Testing. Okay. We apologize. We had a slight error with our computer system. Our internet went out shortly, and we had to like keep the stream running. It went on like backup Wi-Fi. Anyway, we're gonna play this short clip from Saturday Night Live because we feel like you should see this to know how to properly act at one of these things. So we're just gonna get rid of all of this stuff that's taking up your screen, and we're just gonna play it. So this is how to not get your ass kicked.
Have you ever been face to face with a police officer and wondered, is he about to kick my ass? Well, wonder no more. If you follow these easy tips, you'll be fine. First, obey the law. Laws were made for a reason. Think of them as hints. You've heard people say, man, I wouldn't do that shit if I was you. Well, here's some of that shit. Carjacking, armed robbery, arson, selling drugs, buying drugs, stabbing, shooting. You know, you probably won't get your ass kicked if you just use common sense. If you jump a subway turnstile, you might just get off with a warning from the police. But if you jump a turnstile carrying a loaded gun and smoking a joint, then maybe you need your ass kicked. We all know what happened to Rodney King. But Rodney wouldn't have got his ass kicked if he had just followed this simple tip. When you see flashing police lights in your mirror, stop immediately. Everybody knows, if the police have to come and get you, they're bringing an ass kicking with them. Here's a no-brainer. If you're listening to loud rap music, turn that shit off. Blasting fuck the police while you're getting pulled over by the police is just ignorant. When an officer approaches your car, be polite.
Is there a problem, officer?
And stay in your car with your hands on the wheel.
What the fuck do you want, motherfucker?
Unless you want your ass kicked. Want to give a friend a ride? Not so fast. Your friend might be crazy. Now, before you let your friend in your car, ask them these questions. Do you have a gun? Do you have drugs? Do you have any warrants? And in case you do get pulled over by the cops,
License and registration, please.
remind your friend to do this one thing. Shut the fuck up.
Man, don't give him shit. What the fuck you want?
If you have to give a friend a ride, get a white friend. A white friend can be the difference between a ticket and a bullet in the ass. Here's a tip you should never forget. If your woman is mad at you, leave her at home. Because a mad woman will say anything.
He got weed! He got weed!
If your woman is mad at you, there's nothing she'd like to see more than you getting your ass kicked.
That's right! Kick his motherfucking ass! Make him tell me shut up no more! Take his weed too! He got weed!
Obey the law. Now let's review. Obey the law. Use common sense. Stop immediately. Turn that shit off. Be polite. Shut the fuck up. Get a white friend. And last but not least, don't ride with a mad woman. If you follow these simple pointers, you probably won't get your ass kicked by the police.
Now, of course, that video that we showed you guys, that was made a while ago. That is a really old video, I believe from the 90s. Yeah, it was out. It came out, I believe, like in the 90s or the early 2000s. It was on my Saturday Night Live. And the reason we showed you that video clip is basically just obey the law. Don't do stupid crap. And it brought in some comedy that really wasn't funny. In today's age, we apologize about that. But the point of that was don't do something stupid, and you will not be facing any issues. Just don't do stupid shit. Don't punch a police officer. Don't disrespect the police officers. They have the power, and you need to respect them if you want to be respected at your protests. So these statements here are just terrible. Um, it is this right here isn't even true. There's actually been surveys around the country. Police brutality is not a thing done towards African Americans. It does not exist. It is not a thing. It is just a politicalized thing here. This though I can agree with. So yeah, this we want to point out the lack of honesty here from Planned Parenthood when it comes to how to respect police and how to plot police. Got to fact check this. Companies do this. Media's public to fact check stuff like this when we read it because we just have to regarding false information coming out from large corporations such as Planned Parenthood, which is very upsetting to see this false information coming out from them. So yes, that is what we have so far. We're gonna go take it back over to Twitter, see what we can find, because it's been about an hour now of us doing this live stream. So much is happening right now. It looks like we have Boris Johnson released a statement from the UK. He's the UK minister. Some called him the Trump of the UK. We'll play his clip right here for a second. He was speaking as he was traveling, so we'll switch it over. Here we go. So he was doing his trip to Rwanda. Let's see what he has to say.
Look, I'd be absolutely clear with everybody. This is not our court. It's another jurisdiction, but clearly it has massive impacts on people's thinking around the world. It's a very important decision. I've got to tell you, I think it's a big step backwards. I've always believed in a woman's right to choose, and I stick to that view, and that's why the UK has the laws that it does. And actually, if you look, we recently took steps to make sure that those laws were enforced throughout the whole of the UK. Look, I'd be absolutely clear with everybody. This is not our court. It's another jurisdiction, but clearly it has massive impacts on people's thinking around the world. It's a very important decision. I've got to tell you, I think it's a big step backwards. I've always believed in a woman's right to choose, and I stick to that view, and that's why the UK has the laws that it does. And actually, if you look, we recently took steps to make sure that those laws were enforced.
And good morning, because it certainly is not one. This morning, the radical Supreme Court is eviscerating Americans' rights and endangering their health and safety. but the Congress will continue to act to overcome this extremism and protect the American people. Today, the Republican-controlled Supreme Court has achieved their dark, extreme goal of ripping away a woman's right to make their own reproductive health decisions. Because of Donald Trump, Mitch McConnell, and the Republican Party, their supermajority in the Supreme Court, American women today have less freedom than their mothers. With Roe and their attempt to destroy it, radical Republicans are charging ahead with their crusade to criminalize health freedom. In the Congress, be aware of this, the Republicans are plotting a nationwide abortion ban. They cannot be allowed to have a majority in the Congress to do that, but that's their goal. And if you read, and again, we're all studying all this, but if you read what is in the very clear, one of the justices had his own statement. It's about contraception, in vitro fertilization, family planning. That is all what will spring from their decision that they made today. It's such a contradiction. Yesterday, they say the states cannot make laws governing the constitutional right to bear arms. And today, they're saying the exact reverse, that the states can overturn a constitutional right for 50 years, a constitutional right for a woman having the right to choose. The hypocrisy is raging, but the harm is endless. What this means to women is such an insult. It's a slap in the face to women about using their own judgment to make their own decisions about their reproductive freedom. And again, it goes well. I always have said the termination of a pregnancy is just their opening act. It's just their front game. But behind it, and for years, I have seen in this Congress opposition to any family planning, domestic or global, when we have had those discussions and those debates and those votes on the floor of the House. This is deadly serious, but we are not going to let this pass. A woman's right to choose reproductive freedom is on the ballot in November. We cannot allow them to take that they can institute their goal, which is to criminalize reproductive freedom, to criminalize it. Right now, they're saying in states that they can arrest doctors and all the rest. What is happening here? What is happening here? A woman's fundamental health decisions are her own to make in consultation with her doctor, her faith, her family, not some right-wing politicians that Donald Trump and Mitch McConnell packed the court with. While Republicans seek to punish and control women, Democrats will keep fighting ferociously to enshrine Roe v. Wade into the law of the land.
So that was the statement we just got here from Nancy Pelosi on her lovely Twitter account. We just got something from Michelle Obama, which we're just going to bring up now on your screen. Michelle Obama has released her following statements on the overturning of Roe v. Wade. And it goes as follows. I am heartbroken today. I am heartbroken for people around this country who have lost the fundamental right to make informed decisions about their own bodies. I am heartbroken that we may now be deciding to learn the painful lessons of a time before Roe was made law of a land, a time when women risked losing their lives getting illegal abortions, a time when the government denied women control over their reproductive functions, forced them to move forward with pregnancies they didn't want, and then abandoned them once their babies were born. This is what our mothers, our grandmothers, and our great grandmothers lived through. And now, here we are again. So, yes, I am heartbroken for the teenage girl possessed and promised she won't be able to finish school or the life she wants because her state controls her reproductive decisions. For the mother, a non-viable pregnancy is now forced to bring pregnancy to term. For the parents, watching their child's future evaporate before their eyes. For the healthcare workers who can no longer help them without risking jail time. When we don't understand our history, we are doomed to repeat its mistakes. In this country, our futures are tied together in a delicate tapestry which we have each had a hand in making. Too often, cynicism and indifference makes us feel that we don't have a wavering it, but could it be further from the truth? The more we allow pacifism to push us further into hopelessness, the less we are empowered to help create the kind of country we want to live in. This whole decision will have devastating consequences, and it is a wake-up call, especially to the young people who will hear its burden. I know this is not the future you chose for your generation, but if you give up now, you inherit a country. You inherit a country that does not resemble you or any of the values you believe in. This moment is difficult, but our story does not end here. It may not feel like we are able to do much right now, but we can, and we must. If you're like me and you want to get started right now, I encourage you to channel your frustration and anger through getting involved. Organizations like Planned Parenthood and the United States of Women, among others, have resources that you can look into. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. So that was the statement from Michelle Obama she released today. We're going to be taking a short break and we'll be back very shortly. We just wanted to make sure we got everything through here. Hopefully, we'll have some more videos when we come back from our break.
everybody. How hard is it? How hard is it?
We're just quickly going to just play a little bit of sample. Here's some live feed of some protesters at the U.S. Capitol. I mean, not the U.S. Capitol. This is at the Supreme Court. We're going to allow this to play for a couple minutes. Here you go. So you can get some viewpoints of what the people are doing on the ground.
The system that gives rise to the oppression of women is illegitimate. The system that brings all that shit down even harder on black women and other women of color is illegitimate. And I'm going to tell you, I remember what it was like to not have the right to abortion. I had cousins. You know, all of a sudden, they disappear, you know. There is some other state going to school for a year. Why? Because it's shameful. Because you don't talk about sex. You don't, all these things are shameful. You hide it. And this is what these people are talking about when they're talking about doing vaginal searches and all this other bullshit, proving, making people drop their pants to prove they do or don't have a dick. All this shit is fucked up and we can't put up with it. And it's starting right here by saying women, as of today, it is federal policy, it is federal law that women are not full human beings in this country. And if we are not going to wait for somebody to vote on that, that is bullshit. A system that says that that's up for vote is bullshit, and it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way. So we got to get out in the streets. We got to stay out in the streets from now, tonight, tomorrow, here in D.C. because it's the capital, and around the country where we live. And we have to create the kind of upheaval like what we did when George Floyd was murdered that says you are not going to do this, you are not going to stay with this because we will shut down this system and we will not stop until we do. Rise up for abortion rights! Rise up for abortion rights! For abortion rights, rise up! For abortion rights, rise up! Rise up for abortion rights! For abortion rights, rise up! Rise up for abortion rights! For abortion rights, rise up! Rise up for abortion rights! For abortion rights, rise up! Rise up for abortion rights! For abortion rights, rise up! Abortion! For abortion rights, rise up! Rise up for abortion rights! For abortion rights, rise up! Hey, rise up for abortion rights! For abortion rights, rise up! Rise up for abortion rights! For abortion rights, rise up! Rise up for abortion rights! For abortion rights, rise up! Rise up for abortion rights! Rise up! Rise up for abortion rights! For abortion rights, rise up! Rise up for abortion rights! For abortion rights, rise up! Rise up for abortion rights! For abortion rights, rise up! Rise up for abortion rights! For abortion rights, rise up! Rise up for abortion rights! For abortion rights, rise up! Rise up for abortion rights! For abortion rights, rise up! Rise up for abortion rights! For abortion rights, rise up! Rise up for abortion rights! For abortion rights, rise up! Rise up for abortion rights! For abortion rights, rise up! Rise up for abortion rights! For abortion rights, rise up! Rise up for invisible, visible, or otherwise, and talk about how abortion is health care, how necessary it is, and how so important it is for people to fight on behalf of the disabled community. Thank you. I'm Jackie, and I'm from Kansas, and I just have to say, if these people actually cared about women's rights, then why aren't they funding birth control? Why aren't they funding contraception? Why aren't they talking about sex education? Why are we talking about sex like it's something that we're fucking humans and we all do? They don't actually want to deal with the problem. They just want to deal with controlling us. And those are questions we need to ask the people we know. Why aren't we actually dealing with this like it's a real fucking problem?
Look, there's a lot of ways that people can donate. One of them is for people to bring food. So these are
Yeah, bring us lunch. Whose streets? Our streets. 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 Whose streets? Our streets.
A lot has, came out in the last 24 hours. As you just saw, you saw some Supreme Court protesters gathering at the Supreme Court of the United States. You got to see all of that. Them speak for a good portion of the time about what they believe and what they're thinking of. And you see a lot of young people, a lot of old people. You see a very mixed demographic of people in that. If you watch the clip for the short period of but there's right now, much Twitter, and just do a lot more, I guess, of an in-depth. We have some new reports on how corporate America is responding. We have J.P. Morgan saying it will pay for its employees to travel to states that allow abortion. You're seeing tech companies come into this picture and internet privacy. Let's see what we got here. Really nothing. Really nothing is in that article. That's why I don't like trying to use other sources besides us. Just so much coming in. Impeach. I think I just saw that inside of Twitter here. So let's just take a little bit of a more of a dedicated look into it. So these are the 13 states, according to the New York Times, that could trigger. Oh, I need to connect this. It looks like. We got a lot of screaming, a lot of people wanting this abortion to become legal, as you can see right here. A lot of hugging, screaming. We got both sides here. We got the pro-life side. If they reversed it, as you can see, a lot of celebration. The pro-life generation really did it. And a lot of people down here. We got this side of both sides, it looks like, speaking. Right there is Angie Ocasio-Cortez. So let's just go through that video. I'm going to play again. That you just saw right there is Good Morning Post-War America. That was the anti-abortion demonstrators celebrating. And then we got to see others. Let's just replay that. Let's just show that group of those young, fantastic social justice warriors for the anti-abortion side. Let's see them celebrate again. Let's go. Well, what a powering statement. You got to see the I am a post-war generation. If you're not familiar, that is a very good, that is a pro-life, and that's studentsforlife.org. They have signs. They've been sending them out for past years. If you attend any conservative conferences, you'd see them. They say, I am the post-war generation. Text like to 53445. So that is, you've seen in this course of this programming that we've done today, and why it went to the boys TV, you've seen all sides from this. You've seen from the Bidens to the Democrats. You've seen the Supreme Court opinions. You've seen everything on board this coverage here. And they're okay. You've seen lots of stuff come through here. You've seen multiple pictures, multiple images, multiple, like right here, this image here of Reuters. This is a picture they took. You got to see a lot of different viewpoints. So what I ask you now is to sit back and think. What does our nation do now? Well, what is our next step here as Roe vs. Wade has been overturned? What is our next step? What is the next step here? Today life won. It did. It did. And we Roe vs. Wade was struck down. This has been a large thing that a lot of people have been wanting. What happens now? The midterm elections are a major role in what we end up playing if states and nations and all this stuff are going to not nations. It's gonna the midterm elections is what's going to play a humongous role in the future of the abortion cases, and if the federal government will go through it, not federal government, if Congress will pass something declaring it a right, as you saw with Nancy Pelosi's statement earlier. We will have to see what we have to see. We'll have to see what this goes down, the path it does, and what it does. So we're just going to go through, see if we can find anything else before we sign off. We'll come back on later this evening with more coverage later as we give it some time to see what it does. But first off, I found some footage of it looks like it's Chuck Schumer talking about this. We're just going to play that clip if that is if we can find a clip of him talking about it that we can use this evening. I think we found a clip. No, we don't. We have not found a clip. We have not found a clip. I'm being told by the department that's actually tries to prepare this stuff in ahead of time. But what I will say is that this is a very big thing. We have insurrection now trending on Twitter. We have front lines from Turning Point USA. Representative Majority Taylor Greene, who is a Republican, says AOC just lost an insurrection and violence and rioting as a direct result of Democrat marching orders. Let's play this clip real quick.
Illegitimate! This decision! Illegitimate! This decision! Illegitimate! Into the streets! 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 Decision! Illegitimate! This decision! Illegitimate! This decision! Illegitimate!
I see nothing yet. Women are going to control their bodies no matter how they try and stop us. To hell with the Supreme Court. We will defy them. Women will be in control of their bodies. And if they think black women are intimidated or afraid, they got another thought coming. Black women will be out in droves. We will be out by the thousands. We will be out by the millions. We're going to make sure we fight for the right to control our own bodies. I see nothing yet. Women are going to control their bodies.
So that was a statement from Maxine Walters, as you just saw, which was a very interesting statement, very demandative statement out of most of them that we're seeing. AOC is just all over Twitter, like completely. Occupying Democrats, let's see what they're saying. It's a very good Democrat group for what they're saying. Music superstar Taylor Swift uses her huge platform to claim the courts overturn a road, says she is absolutely terrified that is real women's right to be stripped away for decades of fighting. Retweet to thank Taylor for speaking up. Breaking, Justice Clarence Thomas announces that Republicans wanting to kill gay marriage next issues an official opinion calling for right-wing court to consider overturning marriage equality that has not been completely confirmed yet by saturation. I have to throw it out there. Then AOC is also bashing everybody tonight. So that is what we have coming out right now. We really don't have any other coverage right now regarding what's going on with this. But as we did say earlier, just watch everything, watch your surroundings tonight. If you're near these protest sites that are occurring, we truly want to make sure that all protests peaceful regarding this. They need to stay peaceful. They must stay peaceful. So we'll actually, before we go off, type to see if we can find some protest. See if we can find any protesting that's going on that we can just get any more coverage of that. We would like to just show as many things as we possibly can. Again, I do want to point out that they are preparing for rioting. We did discuss this earlier that they are preparing for rioting, and that there is rioting stuff that is being sent over to the Capitol. We just wanted to go through and just showcase all of that again. We don't have any protest that looks like anything coming out right now, regarding the Supreme Court. Roe v. Wade. A lot of stuff happening, a lot of things going on regarding this. We'll keep you updated here on Saturation News. If you have not already, subscribe to Saturation News by visiting saturationnews.com/subscribe. We are currently updating our website with updates over Roe v. Wade as much as we possibly can. We'll continue bringing you live coverage as long as we possibly can over the day. If something breaks, we will broadcast it in the evening edition. We'll continue giving you live coverage this evening. We'll try to get some hosts on as well this evening with different political views so that they can all speak together. We're going to try to get a panel on this evening. So that's everything we have tonight regarding the Supreme Court is, change with this abortion. We truly are a little bit shocked down here by this. I think the whole nation right now is possibly shocked with this entire event. So please, consider going through, looking at all this stuff, getting everything done to what it needs to be, and we need to just as much as we possibly can work on getting the all nation solutions solved as best as we possibly can. Again, we'll be back towards the end of this evening with more coverage, more live updates, and everything that you want to know regarding this. We'll be covering it all. We'll have a live panel, hopefully of this incredible panel of people from all sides of the political spectrum tuning in tonight to feature this lovely event here this evening. We're really hoping to do that. We're hoping for some really good conversation and some really good thoughts. So that is what we're hoping to bring. Thank you for tuning into our presentation. We are ending our coverage now. We'll have a great panel of judges coming out later this evening from all sides of the political spectrum. We do not know why our audio went out a moment ago, but we've had some audio issues with this stream. We will not have these issues in the previous stream because we have all that stuff fixed up. We have just been, office has been big today. Anyway, what I was saying when I thought the audio was working is that we are going to be bringing a panel towards the end of the day for everybody to listen to. Fantastic panel of judges, fantastic panel of people to discuss from all sides of the political spectrum, the news that broke tonight. I'll have a great conversation. Hopefully, we'll have a bunch of people on this panel. Hopefully, we'll have a panel, and we'll be discussing this news tonight from a very good standpoint from all sides with updates and a catch up of what's currently going on in the news cycle. If you have not yet, go through, download our app, Saturation News, on your iPhone and Android. We have a mobile app. You can get access to everything Saturation News related right in the comfort of your hand. Never been to breaking news story or important update again. Personalized experience and choose the news you want by category: politics, business, health, entertainment, more. Get the news you want the way you want. Download our app on the App Store and Google Play. We'll see you guys this evening with more coverage regarding the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade.